Luke Ball is a Republican strategist. Jose Aristimuño is a former DNC deputy press secretary. Thank you both for talking to me. Jose, I'll start with you first. You know it's bad when Democrats themselves are basically predicting that this could be a bad thing for the Democratic Party to have this mayor in control of an already corrupt New York City.
That's exactly right, and happy Independence Day, everybody. Look, Mamdani is not the answer for the Democratic Party. I do think he's an outlier. I don't think he represents a majority of my party. I think a majority of my party are centered JFK type of Democrats. The Republicans and Donald Trump are having a blast because they're trying to ping Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I think he's the wrong answer for the party. I think this is a make or break moment. Center Democrats, pragmatic Democrats like myself and others need to speak out loud and clear and say this is not the answer. We can and must do better as a party.
Luke, I mean, the Democratic Party needs to do better. I mean, obviously, as all Democrats have seen across the country since the president swept the nation in the presidential race, that these Democratic cities, specifically New York City, California, are hurting. And having a left-leaning liberal mayor come in at a time like this is probably the worst timing of them all. I mean, even our mayor, Eric Adams, has conceded that it was a huge mistake to allow all the illegal immigrants into this country, and now or into these cities, and now they're trying to get them out. It's a little too late. What does the Democratic Party do if you get a mayor like this one?
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with Jose that the Democrats need to be calling out this radical candidate. The problem is I don't believe he is an outlier. I think he's sucked up all of the energy in the party. If he were an outlier, he would not have had such overwhelming support up in New York City. We would have had a much more moderate candidate emerge. And as goes New York City, so goes the agenda for the rest of the nation under the Democrat Party. You do have a watershed moment right here for the Democrats. Are you going to be the party of JFK, or are you going to be the party of the USSR? This is a very dangerous streak in the Democrat Party that not enough people are calling out. Even Bill Clinton's out there congratulating him. You saw Elizabeth Warren, one of the more progressive, but also mainstream members of the Democrat Party congratulating this nominee. Democrats have to make a choice here. Are they going to diverge and actually get back to their moderate roots or some of the more sensible policies they advocated maybe 2 decades ago, or are they going to go in a radical new direction?
All right. Jose, Mark Penn, speaking of radicals, says that Mamdani winning the primary is a 9/11 moment for the Democratic Party. I want you to listen to this.
This is a 9/11 moment for the Democratic Party in the sense that he's an anti-Semitic socialist. I think you have to throw both of those things at him because he has really not disavowed the global intifada. He has not really disavowed his comments that we should seize the means of production.
And here's the Wall Street Journal op-ed by Congressman Tom Suozzi, a Democrat from New York, saying this, you know, for Democrats, Mamdani is a wake-up call and a bad example. He shows how the party is falling short, but he has the wrong solutions. The party is falling short because they've allowed crime, Jose, they've allowed illegal immigrants by the millions into this country, and that is why the Democratic Party is falling short, and the voters made it very clear on Election Day.
Look, a few things, and I'll be, very clear. Back in 2020, Joe Biden beat Bernie Sanders. So it goes to show that when it comes to the national agenda, Democrats are more moderate. They're in the middle. I agree with Mark. If we want to continue losing, if we want to self-destruct as a party, let's elect Mamdani. We cannot allow this. We got to elect Eric Adams. I think Eric Adams is the perfect man for the perfect moment because now that he's running as an independent, he can bring in moderate Republicans, bring in moderate Democrats. On this Independence Day, we ought to show that Republicans and Democrats agree on most things in this country. We ought to bring compromise to be a positive word. We can and must do better as a country, but we ought to come together.
Yeah, and Luke, I want to talk about, Eric Adams real quick. First of all, I'm surprised that former Mayor Bloomberg endorsed this particular primary, as far as Mamdani becoming the likely candidate. But Eric Adams has actually taken a hard turn from the left to the middle, and I think that does appeal to New Yorkers. Even the most liberal New Yorkers in this city do not like the fact that, their kids don't feel safe going to school. They don't feel walking on the streets is safe anymore because of the homeless problem, because of the illegal immigrants on the streets, harassing legal immigrants and also legal citizens here. Jose, that is the issue, I think, that they don't understand, that while New York City is a left-leaning city, the New Yorkers here are sick and tired of the left-leaning policies.
Yeah, for sure. And I would submit that Bernie Sanders versus Joe Biden was 5 years ago. That's political light years away from where we are now. The energy has drastically shifted within the Democrat Party. The energy is behind the more radical candidates. You see them taking up the airwaves like Jasmine Crockett or Mamdani here. And the Democrats are not condemning what these folks are saying. That's a major part of it. If you are silent, then you are endorsing the direction of your party. And so they have a watershed moment, an opportunity to make a choice here. Are you actually going to get back to the roots of the Democrat Party, or are you going to go in a very socialist direction? And unfortunately, I think Jose, although he's called out his party, is an outlier within his own party, because far too many are silent and unable to actually call out this radical element.
All right, Luke Ball, Jose Aristimuño, thank you very much, and thanks for coming on this 4th.